So it has been quite a while since the Kagurabachi anime was announced. It was said that it'll be produced by none other than the new and exciting up-and-coming anime studio, Cygames. Cygames has been quietly building a reputation in the anime industry. They have many great anime adaptations under their belts, such as Uma Musume in The Summer Hikaru Died and even Apocalypse Hotel. But something is missing. They are missing that big hit anime adaptation that would propel them front and center in everyone's mind, just like MAPPA. MAPPA was already a huge anime studio even before adapting JJK, but after JJK, they became a household name and even normies know about Studio MAPPA. Same as Studio Ufotable. Ufotable was a huge name in the industry with works like Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, but after they made the Demon Slayer anime, we all know how that story went. And the thing about Ufotable is their journey as an anime studio is quite similar to Cygames, because they were both a video game developer studio before they ventured into making anime, and it's looking like the people behind Studio Cygames are following Ufotable's template to success, because Ufotable chose a weekly Shonen Jump battle manga and poured great amounts of resources to produce an amazing anime, and that served them so well with the success of Demon Slayer. So now it's looking like Cygames is following in the footsteps of Studio Ufotable, with them also choosing a weekly Shonen Jump battle manga to adapt. And the thing about it that excites me the most is the fact that Studio Cygames is going to pour all their resources into making the Kagurabachi anime a success, because this is by far the most popular IP they have picked up, and if done right, Kagurabachi will be well positioned to carry on the torch after Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen anime end, if not stand alongside them. Because if you have read the Kagurabachi manga, you just know how good it is. The story is a bit simple at the beginning, but as you go further, my god, what a journey this story takes you on. And don't get me started on the artwork, because Kagurabachi has the most gorgeous looking artwork in my recent battle manga memory. I don't think it's a hot take to say Kagurabachi has better artwork than both the Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen manga. And usually when a manga has this good of an artwork, it makes me question whether or not the anime will live up to the standards of the manga, like how you hear every time people saying Berserk and Vagabond are unadaptable because it is hard to animate such detailed art. But I have faith in Studio Cygames because I've seen what they have done with The Summer Hikaru Died. The Summer Hikaru Died was one of the most well-directed animes of 2025. It looked amazing, and the people behind it were creative enough and understood the assignment to do what they needed to do. In the case of Kagurabachi has a lot of quiet scenes where you just have full pages dedicated to a single katana, or creative manga panels where the mangaka Takeruho Kazono depicts the manga panel being slashed to portray an insane attack from an overpowered villain. That was the case with Akimura Soga's first slash against Seiji Samura. So there are a lot of visual creative ways the mangaka of Kagurabachi uses to tell the Kagurabachi story. But luckily, the people at Studio Cygames have the talent under their employment to interpret such creative scenes when translating it to anime. Had I not seen how Studio Cygames adapted The Summer Hikaru Died, I'm not gonna lie, I would have been a tad bit worried for this adaptation. But luckily, there is evidence that there are people working for Studio Cygames who are capable of doing justice for both the artwork and the creative manga panels that are present in the Kagurabachi manga. But the worry still remains, because it has been over a year since the announcement that Kagurabachi was in development. So what happened? Usually when an anime gets announced and a year passes by, you would at least get some key visuals or a trailer, but there has been zero news regarding it. And some fans are justified in being worried, but for me, this is not worrying at all, because I have experienced something similar before. When Chainsaw Man Season 1 ended and the Rose movie got announced, there was a lot of excitement. But then there was silence regarding the Rose movie for what seemed like forever from MAPPA, and a lot of fans were worried. But then Jump Festa came around and we got one of the most gorgeous looking anime trailers, and everyone was happy, and I'm getting the same feelings from the Kagurabachi anime situation. I feel like the first season of Kagurabachi will be a 24 to 26 episode season with Demon Slayer level animation and the Summer Hikaru Died level of direction. We are going to be eating when this anime comes out. This silence from Studio Cygames just tells me that they are hard at work right now crafting what could possibly become the best anime of the 2020s. This is Cygames' biggest chance to get into the big leagues of anime studios, to stand alongside giants like Studio Bones, Studio Mappa, Studio Wit, and many more. So for the Kagurabachi fans out there who fear the more this anime is delayed, the more the quality will be bad, you have nothing to fear. I know there have been some bad animes like One Punch Man Season 3 that got delayed to no end and we got a terrible Season 3. But this Kagurabachi situation is more like a Demon Slayer Season 1 type situation, or even a Reize movie type situation than a One Punch Man Season 3 situation. Because we've seen Studio Cygames handle anime with high octane action animation, and that's another one of the reasons that reassures me about this Kagurabachi anime being handled by Cygames. And it's not really the same as the situation with One Punch Man Season 3, where Studio JC staff was not renowned for adapting high octane action animation. But if there is one legitimate concern, that may be the rumor that Kagurabachi is going to have a limited budget. Now you might say, wait, Wave Lion, how could a limited budget be a bad thing? And you're right, a limited budget isn't a concern. In fact, it is a good thing, but usually when people have unlimited resources to do the thing they want to do, it kills creativity. And like I said before, Kagurabachi is a manga that has a lot of creative usage of manga panels. Usually when people don't have unlimited budget and they are short on money, they are forced to come up with new ways to pull off the things they are supposed to be doing, and this results in novel and exciting ways of animation. But I can't complain with Kagurabachi having a limited budget, because adapting Kagurabachi is one of the most pivotal moments for Cygames as an anime studio. So we might hear things like Studio Cygames have a limited budget and this and that, but for a project like this, no amount of money will be enough. And I'm really not worried about Kagurabachi having bad animation. In fact, if I must really find a reason to be worried about, I would say direction. I know I've said earlier in this video that the direction for this Kagurabachi anime will be good because of Studio Cygames' track record with The Summer Hikaru Died. Studio Cygames actually managed to pull off a scary horror anime, and that deserves great plaudits. But I look at something like JJK Season 3, which undoubtedly has great animation, but there are still complaints regarding how some moments are handled, such as the Maki fight with the Zenin clan. No one complained about the quality of the animation. That was not a problem. The problem was the way it was directed. Some people were upset that the Maki fight with her clan members deliberately made to resemble Kill Bill, and other creative choices like using an upbeat harmonica soundtrack during her fight was bad direction. They felt it betrayed the soul of the portrayal of that fight in the manga, and I understand where they're coming from. Me personally, I enjoyed the Maki and Zenin clan fight aside from the soundtrack throwing me off a bit, but you guys see what I'm saying. Good animation alone isn't enough. The direction of the anime is important as well. Many people see the Maki Zenin clan massacre as an outcome of anime these days not only being made for Japanese audiences but for international fans as well. I disagree with this take. I believe that director of JJK, Shota Goshizono, opted to take inspiration from Kill Bill for the Zenin clan massacre because he thought it was simply cool, and I believe we will see similar decision in the direction of Kagurabachi as well, because if you have heard some interviews of Takeru Hokazono, the author of Kagurabachi, he has taken a lot of inspiration from Western movies, and we may see many scenes in the Kagurabachi anime resembling some scenes from famous movies because they themselves are present in the manga. But like I said earlier, the direction of some anime works that Studio Cygames produced were superb, and I don't think the people who are going to be working on the first season of the Kagurabachi anime would attempt risky creative choices for this first season. Even in JJK, we didn't see this type of innovative directorial attempts up until season 3. I mean, there were glimpses of it in season 1 and 2, but it feels like in season 3 of JJK, they are going going full artsy with it, and I don't think Kagurabachi will go full artsy in season 1, because you don't want to be taking risks like that in the first season, because you have to make a good impression on audiences to hook them in. As for how many chapters season 1 of Kagurabachi will adapt of the manga, since I feel like the first season of Kagurabachi is going to be a 24 to 26 episode first season, I'm pretty confident in saying that it'll cover up until a little bit past the Rakuzaichi arc. We might delve deep into the Sword Bearer assassination arc and see the conclusion of the Chihiro and Samuro conflict, but I don't think we will see the raid on the Kamunabi by the Hishaku or the Akimura Soga stuff. I think it'll end when Chihiro makes amends with Samura, and boy, that is very exciting, and Kagurabachi is one of those anime projects I'm highly excited for, maybe even more than the Sukuna vs Gojo movie whenever that gets announced. And man, what a great time to be an anime fan. If you've made it this far into the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, it will mean a lot, and also don't forget to hit that like button. And with that said, see you guys in the next one.